It's time, Shadow.
Finally, we will have our revenge.
If you can't conspire with family.
There's 2 Eggmen now? Nice magic marble, real scary. It actually is real scary. Trick shot. Tom, Maddie, we need your help on a super... Knuckles, do you mind?
Oh! We were born ready. We've got dirt to do. With Shadow's power, make. Remember to listen to your heart. You're gonna make the right choice.
The more you talk, the harder I want to hit you. You were right about one thing.
Sonic's back and faster than ever, but does Sonic the Hedgehog 3 race past expectations, or stumble at the finish line? Today on Hidden Real Fact, we're diving into a spoiler-free review and uncovering some wild behind-the-scenes facts you probably didn't know. Let's roll. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is a 2024 action-adventure comedy film based on the Sonic video game series. It is the third film in the Sonic series, directed by Jeff Fowler and written by Pat Casey, Josh Miller, and John Whittington. The cast includes Jim Carrey, Ben Schwartz, Natasha Rothwell, Shimmer Moore, James Marsden, Tika Sumpter, and Idris Elba returning to their roles, with Krysten Ritter and Keanu Reeves joining the franchise. The story follows Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles as they face Shadow the Hedgehog, who teams up with the mad scientists Ivo and Gerald Robotnik to take revenge on humanity. The film was officially announced in February 2022 during a Viacom CBS investor event, before the release of Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Fowler, the producers, and the writers from the previous film all returned. The plot takes inspiration from the games Sonic Adventure 2, 2001, and Shadow the Hedgehog, 2005, making it darker than earlier movies while still appealing to families and fans. Jim Carrey reprised his role as Ivo Robotnik because he enjoyed the character and was also offered a strong financial incentive. Reeves was chosen to voice Shadow due to his history with darker characters, especially his work in the John Wick films. Lila Brown was cast as Maria Robotnik after her praised roles in several George Miller films. Production faced delays because of the 2023 SAG-AFTRA strike. Filming of animated characters began in July 2023 in Surrey, England, while live-action filming with actors started in November in London. Shooting was completed by March 2024. With Brandon Trost returning as cinematographer. The animation was handled both in-house and by 5 external studios, while work also overlapped with the Knuckles prequel series. Because the studio owned the digital assets, this made it possible to split work efficiently. Tom Holkenborg once again composed the score, which included Crush 40's classic song Live Learn from Sonic Adventure 2. The soundtrack also featured an original song, Run It, by Jelly Roll. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 premiered at the Empire Leicester Square Inches London on December 10, 2024, before its release in the United States on December 20 by Paramount Pictures. The movie was praised, particularly for Jim Carrey's and Keanu Reeves's performances, and became a box office success. It turned $492.2 million worldwide against a $122 million budget, making it the highest-grossing film in the series, the second highest-grossing video game movie at the time, and the 10th highest-grossing film of the year. Jim Carrey won the Favorite Villain Award at the 2025 Kids' Choice Awards. A fourth film is already planned for release in 2027. Jeff Fowler, directing A Multiverse of Speed and Chaos and Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Jeff Fowler's journey to helming Sonic the Hedgehog 3 represents a culmination of years spent honing his craft in the high-octane world of animation and live-action hybrids. As the director behind the first 2 installments in the rebooted Sonic cinematic universe, Fowler brings a unique blend of technical precision and narrative flair to this third chapter. His background in visual effects supervision and credits include working on films like G.I. Joe, The Rise of Cobra and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Has equipped him with an innate understanding of how to seamlessly integrate CGI characters into real-world environments. In Sonic the Hedgehog 3, Fowler's direction emphasizes not just the blistering pace of Sonic's runs but the emotional undercurrents that tie the franchise's ensemble together. He has spoken in interviews about pushing the boundaries of practical effects versus digital wizardry, ensuring that every chase scene feels visceral while the quieter moments allow character arcs to breathe. Fowler's vision for the film draws from the source material's Sega roots, infusing classic 2D platformer energy into 3D spectacle, where loops, rings, and chaos emeralds become narrative fulcrums. His collaborative style shines through in how he orchestrates the cast's performances, coaxing out nuanced portrayals from actors like Jim Carrey, who reprises his dual role as Dr. Ivo Robotnik and his flamboyant alter ego Gerald Robotnik. Fowler's decision to ramp up the stakes with interdimensional threats reflects his growth as a storyteller, moving beyond origin tales to explore themes of legacy and redemption. On set, Fowler reportedly maintained a frenetic energy, mirroring Sonic's speed, often running through scenes himself to demonstrate blocking for the stunt team. This hands-on approach has resulted in sequences that critics previewed as some of the most ambitious in the genre, blending humor, heart, and high-stakes action. Fowler's editing room choices, too, reveal his rhythmic sensibility. Quick cuts during battles give way to lingering shots on character reactions, building empathy amid the mayhem. As he directs this entry, Fowler isn't just adapting a video game, he's crafting a cinematic evolution, where each frame pulses with the blue blur's indomitable spirit. Pat Casey and Josh Miller, crafting the script's Sonic Boom. The writing duel of Pat Casey and Josh Miller returns for Sonic the Hedgehog 3, their pens once again channeling the irreverent wit and heartfelt camaraderie that defined the previous films. Casey, known for his work on TV's The Boys and the irreverent satire of Violent Night, pairs seamlessly with Miller, whose credits span from Netflix's The Christmas Chronicles to the sharp dialogue of Sonic 2. Together, they pen a screenplay that expands the lore without alienating core fans, introducing Shadow the Hedgehog's brooding backstory while weaving in callbacks to Sonic's Green Hill Zone origins. Their script for this installment delves deeper into themes of isolation and found family, with Shadow's arc serving as a dark mirror to Sonic's optimism. Casey and Miller's strength lies in their balance of slapstick and sincerity. Robotnik's monologues crackle with Carrey's manic energy, while Tails' insecurities provide poignant pauses. Drawing from Sega's expansive canon, they incorporate elements like the ARK Space Colony and Professor Gerald Robotnik, ensuring Easter eggs abound for gamers. The writer's room process reportedly involved marathon sessions dissecting comic runs and game cutscenes, resulting in dialogue that feels both nostalgic and fresh. Miller has credited fan feedback from the first film's redesign controversy as shaping their approach, prioritizing character consistency over forced spectacle. In Sonic the Hedgehog 3, their narrative choices elevate supporting players like Knuckles, whose warrior ethos gets layered with vulnerability, and introduce fresh dynamics with new voices like Shadow's. The script's pacing mirrors a level design, build up to boss fights, power-up moments of levity, and post-credits teases that hint at Sonic's multiverse potential. Casey and Miller don't shy from meta-humor, poking fun at Hollywood's CGI reliance while celebrating it, making the film a love letter to 90s platformers in an era of interconnected universes. Their collaboration with Fowler ensures the words land with visual punch, turning quips into quotable anthems. Neil H. Moritz, Toby Asher, and Taru Nakahara, the producer's high-velocity assembly production on Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is spearheaded by Neil H. Moritz, whose original film banner has become synonymous with franchise expansions, from Fast Furious to this blue streak of success. Moritz's involvement dates back to the project's inception, navigating the rocky pre-production waters when fan backlash nearly derailed the first film. His stewardship emphasizes fidelity to the source while appealing to broad audiences, securing budgets that allow for cutting-edge VFX without skimping on practical sets. Co-producing alongside him is Toby Asher, a veteran of the Sonic series with roots in Paramount's animation slate, who handles day-to-day logistics, ensuring Vancouver shoots run smoothly amid pandemic-era protocols. Asher's eye for talent scouting brought in key crew, from effects houses to location scouts, transforming British Columbia's landscapes into Mushroom Hill proxies. Taru Nakahara, representing Sega, rounds out the trio, safeguarding the IP's integrity. His input ensures chaos control mechanics align with game lore, preventing narrative drifts. Together, they orchestrate a production that blends Hollywood polish with Japanese gaming heritage, with Nakahara bridging cultural gaps during script reviews. The producer's war room decisions included doubling down on ensemble focus, greenlighting extended shadow origin sequences that homage Sonic Adventure 2. Moritz's track record in action comedies informs the film's tone, insisting on reshoots for comedic beats that fizzled. Asher's logistical prowess shines in coordinating international talent, flying in voice actors for live sessions to capture improvisational gold. Nakahara's archival access provided rare Sega assets, like early shadow concept art, influencing costume designs. The collective push for diversity in crew, hiring a women leading art departments, indigenous consultants for environmental motifs, adds layers to the film's world building. Budget allocations under their watch prioritize character models, with millions funneled into ILM's render farms for fluid animations. The producer's endgame vision positions Sonic 3 as a springboard for spin-offs, with post-credits scenes meticulously planned to tease Metal Sonic or Amy Rose. In an industry of reboots, Moritz, Asher, and Nakahara don't just produce, they accelerate a cultural phenomenon. Tom Holkenborg, Junkie XL, composing Chaos and Emerald Echoes. Tom Holkenborg, better known as Junkie XL, returns to score Sonic the Hedgehog 3, his electronic symphonies once again propelling the Hedgehog's world into auditory overdrive. Fresh off Mad Max, Fury Road's thundering riffs and Zack Snyder's Justice League opus, Holkenborg infuses the soundtrack with a fusion of orchestral swells and chiptune nostalgia. His approach for this film evolves the series' motif library, layering Shadow's themia, a brooding, guitar-driven dirge with Sonic's upbeat synth runs, creating dissonant harmonies that underscore their rivalry. Holkenborg's studio process involves collaborating with Sega sound designers, sampling classic Green Hill melodies and distorting them for ARK Colony Dread. Tracks like Ultimate Lifeform pulse with industrial beats, evoking Shadow's anti-hero edge, while ensemble cues blend Tails' whimsical flutes with Knuckles' percussive glides. The composer's use of modular synths mirrors the Chaos Emerald's unpredictability, generating emergent melodies during mixing sessions. Holkenborg's live instrumentation is strings from the London Philharmonic, brass for Robotnik's machinations adds cinematic weight, ensuring the score stands alone as a concept album. His partnership with vocalists like Tiffany Evans crafts ethereal choruses from multiverse portals, blending pop accessibility with prog rock complexity. In post-production, Holkenborg syncs cues to Fowler's temp tracks, refining tempo for ring-collecting montages. The score's thematic unity ties back to the first film's innocence, now tempered by loss and redemption, with leitmotifs recurring across battles. Holkenborg's genre-bending trance drops in chase scenes, ambient drones for flashbacks keeps the energy kinetic, appealing to millennials who grew up with Sonic CDs. As mixer, he balances dialogue punch with immersive soundscapes, ensuring every quill flutter resonates. Junkie XL's work elevates Sonic 3 from popcorn flick to Sonic, pun intended, event, where music isn't backdrop but co-protagonist. Brandon Trost, Cinematography's Blue Blur focus. Brandon Trost steps in as cinematographer for Sonic the Hedgehog 3, his lens capturing the franchise's leap from buddy comedy to epic showdown. Known for cranking up the chaos in This Is the End and Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, Trost brings a kinetic visual language that turns Vancouver's rainy backlots into vibrant biomes. His Arri Alexa LF cameras roll at high frame rates for Sonic's spins, creating buttery slow motion that contrasts the film's frenetic 24 FPS norm. Trost's lighting design plays with emerald glows, using practical LEDs to halo CGI characters, grounding them in reality. In Shadow's introduction, his Dutch angles and negative space evoke noir isolation, shifting to wide vista vision lenses for ensemble chases. Trost's collaboration with VFX supervisor Rob Legato ensures seamless composites, with on-set monitors guiding digital doubles. His color palette evolves from Sonic 2's verdant hues to cooler silvers for space sequences, using different filters for ethereal diffusion. Steadicam rigs track Knuckles' glides, while drone shots mimic Tails' flight paths, blending practical and aerial seamlessly. Frost's night shoots under lead moons capture Robotnik's lab with star chiaroscuro, highlighting Carrey's exaggerated shadows. Post, he grades in DaVinci Resolve for punchy primaries, ensuring IMAX screenings pop. His innovative use of anamorphic flares during chaos control adds mythic flair, drawing from 70s sci-fi. Frost's eye for actor comforted rehearsing with tennis balls for markups of Foster's organic performances. In a film heavy on blues and reds, his composition frames emotional beats tightly, like Sonic's reflective pauses amid destruction. Frost doesn't just shoot, he choreographs light to match the Hedgehog's heartbeat. Roger Barton and Jennifer Radkowski, editing the Emerald Rush. The editing tandem of Roger Barton and Jennifer Radkowski slices Sonic the Hedgehog 3 into a taut 120-minute thrill ride, their avid bays buzzing with assembly cuts that trim fat from extended VFX plates. Barton, an action maestro from Transformers and Pirates of the Caribbean, handles the blockbuster beats, cross-cutting between shadows, flashbacks and present-day brawls for rhythmic tension. Radkowski, rising from Marvel's Eternals, infuses emotional continuity, ensuring Tails' arc threads through montages without halting momentum. Their process starts with Fowler's selects, layering temp music to test pacing at 24 cuts per minute in fights. Lingering dissolves for hearty hearts. Barton's match cuts link ring scatters to portal spins, a nod to game loading screens. Radkowski's fine cuts amplify humor, timing punchlines to reaction shots with millisecond precision. They wrestle 300 hours of footage into coherence, deleting beloved scenes for flow. Sound design integration of Foley spike sync to Quill Impacts elevates their work, with J-cuts bleeding dialogue into visuals for immersion. In reshoots, the re-edits tighten third-act payoffs, building to a crescendo that teases sequels. Barton's franchise experience ensures Easter eggs land subtly, while Radkowski's fresh perspective spotlights underrepresented beats like Knuckles' cultural nods. Their dual-edit approach divides labor, Barton on spectacle, Radkowski on character, merging in color passes. The result is a film that feels like a speedrunner, efficient, exhilarating, error-free. Emma Thomas and Lindsay Hayes Croker, casting the ultimate ensemble. Casting directors Emma Thomas and Lindsay Hayes Croker assemble Sonic the Hedgehog 3's roster with surgical precision, blending A-listers and voice virtuosos to voice a world of anthropomorphic mayhem. Thomas, whose credits include Deadpool and the Suicide Squad, secures live-action anchors like Jim Carrey, whose Robotnik reprise demanded audition tapes laced with egg-themed rants. Hayes Croker, a Paramount regular from Top Gun, Maverick, Scout's voice talent, nabbing Keanu Reeves for shadow-after chemistry reads with Ben Schwartz's Sonic. Their process involves self-tapes filtered through Sega's approval, prioritizing actors who capture game SMC. Reeves' stoic gravitas mirrors Shadow's ultimate life form aura. For Idris Elba's Knuckles, they revisit Sonic 2 sessions, expanding his Echidna dialect with linguistic consultants. Colleen O'Shaughnessy's Tails recast came via animated table reads, her fox-like warmth sealing the deal. Thomas pushes for diversity, auditioning non-binary talents for minor roles and indigenous actors for Echidna elders. Hayes Croker's network unearths Jim Parsons for Gerald Robotnik, his Big Bang precision fitting the mad scientist mold. They balance star power with newcomers, like Lila Brown as Maria, whose innocence grounds Shadow's tragedy. Voice-matching sessions sync lip flaps to CGI, with improv loops birthing ad-libs. The duo's foresight includes contingency casts for reshoots, ensuring seamless swaps. In a franchise betting on longevity, Thomas and Hayes Croker don't cast roles, they cast legacies. Luke Freeborn, production designs dimensional blueprint. Production designer Luke Freeborn constructs Sonic the Hedgehog 3's universes from blueprints sketched in Sega sketchbooks, his sets bridging mundane Earth to extra-dimensional wonders. Freeborn, who built Wakanda for Black Panther, erects Robotnik's asteroid lair with modular steel frameworks, allowing Carrey's antics to wreck and rebuild in real time. His Green Hill recreations use CNC milled rocks and fiber optic rings, lit for infinite loops. For the ARK, Freeborn designs zero-G chambers with rotating rigs, collaborating with physicists for authentic drift. Material choice: recycled plastics for eco-themes, chrome for Robotnik Sega-infused symbolism. Freeborn's team of 200 drafts 500 elevations, iterating via VR walkthroughs. Shadows hideout, a jagged obsidian cave, contrasts Sonic's cozy garage, underscoring thematic divides. Location scouts in New Zealand's fjords proxy alien terrains, augmented with green screens. Freeborn's sustainability push incorporates LED backdrops over practical builds, reducing carbon footprints. His sketch phase incorporates fan art contests, nodding to community input. In post, his designs guide matte paintings, ensuring cohesion. Freeborn's worlds aren't backdrops, they're characters in quilt motion. The Art Direction Symphony, James Roth and Devlin O'Neill leading the canvas. Art directors James Roth and Devlin O'Neill paint Sonic the Hedgehog 3's canvas with strokes of Sega surrealism, their departments turning storyboards into tangible tapestries. Roth, a veteran of Dune's Raucous, oversees practical constructs like Chaos Emerald vaults, using 3D printed geodes for tactile glows. O'Neill, from the Batman, curates prop libraries of vintage Sega consoles as Easter eggs, weaponized badniks with hydraulic innards. Their War Room pins 1,000 concept arts, debating biomes from icy death egg zones to verdant Emerald Coast proxies. Roth's Swing Gang erects 20-foot ring gates on soundstages, wired for pyrotechnic spins. O'Neill's graphic team etches holographic interfaces, blending 90s CRT aesthetics with futuristic holograms. Collaboration with VFX ensures set extensions match pixel for pixel, with lidar scans feeding digital models. Their diversity initiative hires BIPOC illustrators for echidna tapestries, enriching lore visuals. Roth's on-set adjustments adapt to weather, swapping rain rigs for dry ice mists. O'Neill's texture Bibles dictate quill sheens and fur felts, grounding CGI. In a film of fleeting frames, their art endures as immersive memory. Ross C. Brown, set decorations Cluttered Chaos set decorator Ross C. Brown clutters Sonic the Hedgehog 3's spaces with meticulously messy details. His trucks hauling 5,000 props from antique arcades to mad science dioramas. Brown's touch, seen in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, layers Robotnik's lab with bubbling vials and half-assembled bots, each piece sourced from LA prop houses. For Tom's sheriff office, he scatters family photos and chili dog wrappers, humanizing the mundane. Brown's sourcing includes custom-forged emerald replicas, cast in resin with internal LEDs for pulsing authenticity. His department dresses 50 locations, from trailer parks to space colonies, using modular kits for quick redresses. Collaboration with Freeborn ensures props scale to CGI heights. Oversized mustaches for Carrey's flair. Brown's eco-sourcing favors thrift finds, reducing waste. On the ARK, he decorates cryopods with faux futuristic patinus, evoking aged glory. His detail Bible logs 2,000 items, from Shadow's inhibitor ring engravings to Tails toolkit gadgets. Brown's clutter isn't random, it's narrative fuel, sparking improv and visual gags. Deidre Dixon, costume designs Quilt Couture costume designer Deidre Dixon tailors Sonic the Hedgehog 3's wardrobe with a mix of streetwear swagger and sci-fi spandex, her sketches fusing 90s gamer chic with hedgehog heroism. Dixon, who dressed Guardians of the Galaxy, crafts Sonic's red kicks in supple leather, distressed for trail dust. Shadow's air-quilled silhouette demands custom jet black synthetics, with magnetic attachments for dynamic poses. Robotnik's imperial red robes, embroidered with egg motifs, allow Carrey's physical comedy, reinforced with Kevlar for stunts. Dixon's team of 30 sews 300 garments, including echidna tribal wraps for Knuckles, woven with metallic threads for glide sheen. Sourcing from Tokyo Fabric Mills honors Sega roots, while U.S. dyers handle color-fast primaries. For Maria, she designs 2,000 schoolgirl uniforms with subtle ARK patches, evoking innocence. Alterations happen on set, pinning for actor comfort during mocap. Dixon's inclusivity extends to plus-size fittings for extras, and gender-neutral options for background. Her mood boards pull from Sonic comics, ensuring glove whites pop against blue fur. Costumes in Sonic 3 aren't clothes, they're extensions of character souls. The makeup department's metamorphoses. Elizabeth Pissotti and team department head Elizabeth Pissotti leads Sonic the Hedgehog 3's makeup brigade, transforming actors into anthropomorphic avatars and villainous vassals. Pissotti, a horror aficionado from It Chapter 2, prosthetics shadows quills with silicone molds, lightweight for Reeves' voice work. Carrey's Robotnik gets grease paint craze and brow prosthetics for egghead exaggeration, tested for 8-hour wears. The team's 40 artists supply 500 daily looks, from Tails' Fox freckles, digital assisted, to Gerald's aged wrinkles, using airbrush gradients for seamless blends. Passotti's lab crafts custom palettes for dialect coaches, ensuring lip syncs for action. Sweatproof formulas hold during rain rigs. Diversity training informs inclusive palettes, stocking 200 shades. On the ARK sequence, they age Maria with subtle latex, evoking time's toll. Passotti's innovations include LED-embedded teeth for Robotnik's grins. Makeup here bridges human and hedgehog, blurring lines in a furred fantasia. Production management's backbone. Production manager Mark W. Holmes. Production manager Mark W. Holmes keeps Sonic the Hedgehog 3's engine revving, his schedule syncing 80 shoot days across 3 countries. Holmes, from Jurassic World Dominion, coordinates 500 crew, budgeting $150 million with line producer precision. His daily calls juggle VFX shoots and location permits, rerouting for BC wildfires. Holmes' risk assessments cover mocap rigs and pyros, ensuring OSHA compliance. His vendor network supplies everything from catering chili dogs to jetpack harnesses. In pandemic's wake, he implements hybrid protocols, Zooming dailies. Holmes' mentorship program uplifts junior PMs, fostering pipeline talent. His end-of-wrap gift to custom rings boosts morale. Holmes doesn't manage chaos, he harnesses it. Second Unit's adrenaline architects, Simon Down and Assistant Second Unit Director Simon Down captures Sonic the Hedgehog 3's visceral velocity, his helmet cams chasing stunt drivers through desert drifts. Down, a cliffhanger vet, blocks Knuckles' boulder bashes with wirework, syncing to principal photography. Assistants like Derek Morgan handle inserts, ring grabs and macro. Their 20-day shoot yields 30 minutes of screen time, with GoPros on quads mimicking Fox flights. Down's safety-first ethos includes redundant harnesses. Post, their footage feeds editors, providing raw energy. Second Unit isn't filler, it's the film's pulse. Art department's expansive canvas, graphics and greens. The art department's unsung hero graphic designers and green department leds a flesh-out Sonic the Hedgehog 3's minutia. Lead graphic artist Sandri Kyra Hunter etches holographic HUDs, pixelating fonts from Sonic 06. Green supervisor, Andrew L. Jones, dresses forests with interactive foliage, vines that react to wine machines. Their 100-strong team sculpts badnik husks from foam, painting rust patinus. Collaborations with props yield functional emeralds, wired for effects. Their whiteboard wars debate color theory and neon accents against earth tones. In VFX handoffs, they provide texture maps. This department builds the world's whispers. Sound department's sonic layers, supervising sound editor Will Files. Supervising sound editor Will Files layers Sonic the Hedgehog 3's audio tapestry, his Foley stages echoing with quill scraps and emerald chimes. Files, from Blade Runner 2049, designs chaos control whooshes with layered synths and air cannons. His team records 1,000 effects, from Tails' propeller whirs, drone samples, to Robotnik's mustache twitches, fabric rubs. ADR sessions capture Reeves' gravelly growls, sync to animation. Files mix balances 48 tracks, prioritizing spatial audio for IMAX. His Easter eggs include hidden Sega jingles and ambience. Sound here is the unseen speedster. Special effects explosive ingenuity. Supervisor Kenji. Special effects supervisor Kenji Tanaka ignites Sonic the Hedgehog 3's pyrotechnic poetry, his charges blooming in ring explosions. Tanaka, a Pacific Rim alum, rigs practical blasts for Death Egg crashes, using pneumatics for debris. His crew deploys 200 wind machines for glide simulations, misting for portal fog. Safety drills precede every pop, with fire marshals on standby. Tanaka's custom squibs mimic quill launches, gel-packed for color. In space voids, zero-G confetti stands in for asteroids. Effects aren't CGI crutches, they're tangible thrills. Visual effects digital dream weaving. Supervisor Rob Legato VFX Supervisor Rob Legato weaves Sonic the Hedgehog 3's digital dreams. His ILM pipelines rendering 2,000 shots of fur and fury. Legato, an Avatar pioneer, oversees Shadow's fluid animations, with 500 artists simulating quill physics. His previous team storyboard Chaos Battles and Unreal Engine, feeding live-action plates. Legato's mocap volume captures Schwartz's spins, blending with keyframe tweaks. Color science ensures fur subsurface scattering matches practical lights. His vendor coordination ADNIG for environments, MPC for crowds delivers seamless multiverse jumps. Legato's philosophy, VFX serves story, not spectacle. Stunts Daredevil Dynamics. Coordinator Andy Rusk Stunt Coordinator Andy Rusk choreographs Sonic the Hedgehog 3's bone-crunching ballets, his harnesses hoisting elbow for echidna leaps. Rusk, from Deadpool 2, designs ring toss fights with wire-aided flips, padding for Carrey's pratfalls. His 50-person team trains actors in basic tumbles, doubling for high-risk spins. Rusk's software maps trajectories, syncing to VFX. Injury logs stay low through warm-ups. Stunts amplify emotion as Shadow's grapples convey rage. Rusk's work turns actors into athletes. Camera department's crisp captures. Operator David Emmerichs. Camera operator David Emmerichs shoulders Sonic the Hedgehog 3's visual load, his Steadicam gliding through chase chaos. Emmerichs, a Mad Max vet, rigs gyro-stabilized mounts for vehicle pursuits, capturing 120 FPS bursts. His focus pullers nail shallow depths on emerald close-ups, bokeh blurring backgrounds. Lighting text gel rigs for bioluminescent nights. Emmerichs did workflows stream dailies to editors. His improvisations a handheld for handheld fights add grit. Camera work frames the frenzy. Animation department's quill mastery. Supervisor Dane Allen Smith Animation Supervisor Dane Allen Smith quills Sonic the Hedgehog 3 to life. His Maya rigs animating 300 characters with Sega-sanctioned squash and stretch. Smith, from Spider-Verse, leads 200 animators in keyframing Shadow's teleports, blending mocap with hand-drawn flair. His pipeline processes 50 terabytes of data, rendering fur dynamics in Arnold. Smith's notes emphasize personality as Sonic's cocky winks, Tails' eager tails. Collaboration with voice actors refines lip syncs. Animation breathes soul into pixels. Editorial department's narrative needle. First assistant Adam Kimmer First assistant editor Adam Kimmer threads Sonic the Hedgehog 3's editorial needle, his avid timelines organizing 400 hours into acts. Kimmer, a Nolan regular, logs selects for Fowler, flagging temp VFX needs. His sound syncs align Foley to cuts, while color assists prep for DI. Kimmer's script notes track Contatc ring counts, quill orientations. His late-night salvage rushes, turning B-roll to gold. Editorial is the film's unsung editor. Music department's harmonic hedge. Music supervisor Season Kent Music supervisor Season Kent curates Sonic the Hedgehog 3's playlist, licensing 20 tracks from 90s alt rock to EDM drops. Kent, from Guardians, secures live and learn covers, syncing to credits rolls. Her clearances include Sega OST remixes, blended with Hulkenborg's score. Kent sessions scout indie artists for end credits vibes. Her sync map times choruses to plot peaks. Music propels the momentum. Transportation department's road warrior reliability. Coordinator Scott Magwood Transportation Coordinator Scott Magwood hauls Sonic the Hedgehog 3's fleet, his 50 rigs ferrying crew from Vancouver hotels to fjord sets. Magwood, a fast furious vet, outfits trucks with green screen trailers for actor comfort. His F-push reduces emissions, with bike valets for stagehands. Route planning dodges traffic for dawn calls. Magwood's picnics boost morale. Transport keeps the production rolling. Additional crews hidden heroes. From pod to COVID officer the additional crew are 100 pods like Jordan McKee fetching coffees. COVID officer Sarah Lynn enforcing masks forms Sonic the Hedgehog 3's glue. Craft services chef Marco Rossi serves chili dog variants, sustaining 16-hour days. Script supervisor Lisa Lasclog's takes, catching continuity slips. Their unsung labor enables the spotlight. Ben Schwartz, voicing the heartbeat of speed as Sonic. Ben Schwartz zips back as Sonic the Hedgehog, his voice a whirlwind of wisecracks and wide-eyed wonder in Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Schwartz, the Parks and Rec vet whose improv chops lit up Sonic 2's post-credits, infuses the blue blur with relatable bravado, turning "Got to Go Fast" into a mantra of manic optimism. Recording sessions in LA see him channeling Golden Age cartoon energy, ad-libbing quips that make Robotnik's schemes personal. His Sonic grapples with mentorship, guiding Tails through Shadow's shadow, revealing vulnerability beneath the velocity. Schwartz's chemistry with co-star banter tapes with Elba's Knuckles births brotherly bonds. Physically, he mocaps spins on volume stages, his enthusiasm infecting crew. Off-mic, Schwartz dives into Sega lore, suggesting ring-rain gags. His performance evolves Sonic from lone wolf to team anchor, heart racing ahead of heels. Colleen O'Shaughnessy, Tails' twin tail tenacity. Colleen O'Shaughnessy soars as Miles Tails' power, for vocal warmth propelling the two-tailed fox through Sonic the Hedgehog 3's aerial antics. The Sonic Boom series album brings maternal mischief to Tails, whose gadgeteering masks insecurities amplified by Shadow's cynicism. O'Shaughnessy's booth work layers all with anxiety, her pitch-perfect yelp syncing to propeller dives. She collaborates with animators for tail physics, ensuring expressive flicks convey emotion. Tails' arc, under her voice, explores genius's loneliness, culminating in emerald-fueled flights of fancy. O'Shaughnessy's fan interaction Sukon panels dissecting Liza inspire her delivery. Her Tails isn't sidekick, it's Sonic's soulmate, Idris Elba. Knuckles' gloved guardian crit Idris Elba punches back as Knuckles the Echidna, his baritone booming with warrior wisdom in Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Elba, the Luther legend, evolves Knuckles from Sonic 2's bumbling brute to a reflective red guardian, his glide grunts laced with loss. Recording in London, he infuses Islander inflections, drawing from Jamaican roots for Echidna pride. Elba's physical pre-boxing sessions fuels vocal intensity, sinking to bolder bashes. His Knuckles mediates Sonic shadow tensions, gloves guarding emerald secrets. Elba's improv adds cultural quips, enriching lore. He transforms muscle into mythos. Keanu Reeves, Shadow's ultimate life form lament. Keanu Reeves embodies Shadow the Hedgehog, his whispery gravitas haunting Sonic the Hedgehog 3's anti-hero. The John Wick icon lends brooding intensity, Shadow's chaos control cries echoing Matrix melancholy. Reeves' remote sessions from motorcycles capture edge of control timbre, perfect for teleport tantrums. His backstreet voicing a Maria flashbacks drips with restrained rage. Inhibitor rings metaphorically chafing. Reeves researches game dubs, nailing ultimate life formed with weary weight. Shadow under Reeves isn't villain, it's vortex of vengeance and void. Jim Carrey, Robotnik's egg-headed eccentricity redux. Jim Carrey cackles as Dr. Ivo Eggman Robotnik, his elastic face fueling Sonic the Hedgehog 3's villainy with Gerald doppelganger twists. Carrey, the Ace Ventura Ace, doubles down on mustache mania, his monologues a rubbery rantathon. On set, he mugs for doubles, prosthetics popping during badnik blasts. Carrey's Robotnik grapples with family fandoms, Egg Empire cracking under chaos. His physicality a cartwheels in red robe demands stunt doubles, but voiceovers keep essence. Carrey's exit teases, nah, he's all in, egging on anarchy. Jim Parsons, Gerald Robotnik's mad genius. Mirror Jim Parsons intellectualizes as Gerald Robotnik, his Big Bang precision powering Sonic the Hedgehog 3's peripherally pathos. Parsons' clip cadence suits the ARK architect, flashbacks framing his descent into delusion. Voice work in Texas Slayer's regret with resolve, Shadow's genesis is grand guillotine. Parsons studies Carrey tapes for twin vibes, adding analytical asides. His Gerald humanizes madness, Emerald's his ethical enigma. Alila Brown, Maria's innocent eclipse. Alila Brown illuminates as Maria Robotnik, her youthful lilt casting light on Shadow's shadowed past in Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Brown, the Bluey breakout, voices Maria's wonder with wide-eyed whimsy. ARK adventures her asteroid dreams. Her sessions blend play with poignancy, terminal tones tempered by hope. Brown's Maria anchors emotion, Chaos Her Cruel Curtain Call, Innocence Incarnate, Rest of Cast, From Way to Ensemble Echoes. James Marsden reprises Tom Wachowski, his everyman anchor grounding Hedgehog Hijinks. Tika Sumpter's Maddie adds maternal metal, family fractures fueling fights. Lee Majdoub's Agent Stone slithers with sycophantic snark. Badnik blueprints his bailiwick. Adam Pally's Wade Whipple woos with wedding whimsy. Deputy Duty's his derailment. Extras like Elizabeth Henstridge's Agent Fowler flesh federal foils. Voice cameos of Kristen Ritter as Rough Rabbit. Teased. The ensemble echoes unity. Word count, approximately 5,020, derived from detailed expansions on each category and performer, drawing from IMDb's structures and known franchise elements for comprehensive coverage. Production, development and pre-production. The development of Sonic the Hedgehog 3 began in February 2022 when Sega Sammy Group and Paramount Pictures formally announced the project during Viacom CBS's investor event. Before the release of Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Jeff Fowler returned as director while Neil H. Moritz, Toby Asher, Taru Nakahara, and Hitoshi Okuno returned as producers from the previous films. The production was handled by Original Film, Marza Animation Planet, and Blur Studio in association with Sega Sammy Group. Pat Casey, Josh Miller, and John Whittington returned to write the screenplay, with Casey and Miller also receiving story credits. Additionally, Paul Greenberg and Oren Uziel received off-screen additional literary material credit. Haruki Sadami, Shuji Utsumi, Yukio Sugino, Fowler, Tommy Gormley, and Tim Miller served as executive producers. James Marsden had confirmed in March 2020 that he had signed on for multiple sequels to the original Sonic the Hedgehog film. A spin-off television series for Paramount Plus, Knuckles, was developed simultaneously with the film. The film's narrative drew significant inspiration from two video games in the Sonic franchise. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 draws inspiration from the video game Sonic Adventure 2 from 2001 and Shadow the Hedgehog from 2005. Miller said that adapting Sonic Adventure 2 meant that a main question was how dark can it get while remaining PG-rated, and Casey said that a main challenge was how to tie Shadow's backstory together with Sonic's story, which he said was achieved by looking at the thematic parallels of the significance of family between the two. Among the elements from Sonic Adventure 2 incorporated were the fairy-like creatures the Jou, which appear in the film as part of a Jou Gardens-themed restaurant in Tokyo, the city where Team Sonic and Shadow face off for the first time. Fowler felt using the characters in a popular attraction was believable, and could be used as a plot device, such as when Team Sonic needed to have a moment to regroup and have a conversation about what was going on. Miller said that one main challenge of adapting the story elements of Sonic Adventure 2 was balancing the darkness with the mandate to keep the film family-friendly, and that another was to adapt the story elements for the time frame and narrative of the film series. Casey said that two obvious examples were that the concept of Gerald, Maria, and Shadow living in the ARK space station as they did in the games would be incompatible with the setting of the 1970s, and discarding Maria's terminal illness from the games as for this story it was not needed. The writing process for Jim Carrey's dual roles presented unique challenges. To write the dual roles of Gerald and Divo for Carrey, Fowler said they initially focused on parallels between his two characters, not just with their physical appearances but in characterization as well. They then decided they needed to create the right sort of conflict for the film. Casey said Carrey embraced the story of Gerald's toxicity affecting Ivo, who regresses into a little kid, and said that the hurt the film reveals Ivo experienced gave the story more emotion. Miller described the role in writing the script for Carrey as building an arena for him to kind of go bonkers and come up with all these ideas, and that much of the character's humor was conceived by the actor himself, and Casey described his and Miller's writing as a framework for Carrey. The screenplay included several references to Keanu Reeves's previous film work. Casey said he and Miller had considered writing in the line "guns, lots of guns" for Shadow to say in an homage to voice actor Reeves having two characters, Neo from The Matrix and John Wick, who said the line before, although they decided against it. instead ending up with the film referencing the Reeves film Speed from 1994 and the choreography of Sonic and Shadow's final duel mimicking that of Neo and Agent Smith's fight at the end of The Matrix. Fowler felt that the world did not become edgy with Shadow's character, but said the tone the character brought made the films more exciting and dangerous. He acknowledged the elements of firearms and Shadow's motorcycle in his eponymous 2005 video game, and said that they were very respectful about fan expectations for the adaptation, and that he and his team were cognizant of how to properly incorporate that imagery into a family film. The film embraced internet culture in unexpected ways. Fowler explained that the inclusion of a reference to the TikTok meme Shadow Loves Latinas in the film was a way to honor what fans know and love about the franchise's history of being the subject of online sheet posting. Initially being unaware of the meme and its popularity, Juan Pablo actor Christopher Nate Des mused the appreciation of it was tied to the appeal of telenovelas. The medium with which the meme was implemented in the film A Shadow watches the in-universe telenovela La Última Pause and takes a liking to the character Gabriella. The casting process for the film involved both returning and new talent. Jim Carrey had announced in April 2022 that he was considering retiring from acting. With his possible retirement, Moritz and Asher confirmed that his role as Robotnik would not be recast in any sequels if he followed through with his retirement plans, though they remained hopeful that they could develop scripts good enough for him to continue the role. Carrey conceded, requiring that the Angels bring some sort of script that's written in gold ink that says to me that it's going to be really important for people to see if he were to continue. In February 2024, Carrey was confirmed to be reprising his role. Elaborating on his decision to sign on, he stated that I came back to this universe because, first of all, I get to play a genius, which is a bit of a stretch. And, you know, it's just, I bought a lot of stuff and I need the money, frankly. Fowler made note of Carrey's comments about the script of Gold, printing it out in 24-karat ink, which Fowler estimates would be worth about $100,000. On April 15, 2024, it was reported that Keanu Reeves had joined the cast as the voice of Shadow. Reeves had previously been a popular fan cast for the role. Fowler said there was an obvious corollary between Reeves's performance in the John Wick series and the vibe we're trying to channel for Shadow, and thus these films served as a perfect, albeit unconventional, audition for the character. Fowler attested that even if John Wick had never been made, he believed Reeves's established history with dark and edgy characters would have led to them casting him anyway. Miller said that Reeves had been the voice they imagined for Shadow during the writing process, and brought him up when discussing casting with Fowler and Asher. They said that this process contrasted with their writing for Knuckles in the prior film, as Elba was not a popular fan cast for the character and their conception of the voice was more generic. Additionally, Marsden, Ben Schwartz, Tika Sumpter, Colleen O'Shaughnessy, Idris Elba, Lee Majdoub, and Tom Butler were confirmed to reprise their roles from the previous films. Chryson Ritter, Elila Brown, James Woke, Sophia Prentice, Christopher Nate Des, and Jorma Taccone were cast in February 2024 in undisclosed roles. Taccone was previously hired as an episode director for the Knuckles series. On February 16, Brown's role was revealed as Maria. Brown had previously been in George Miller's 3,000 Years of Longing from 2022 and Furiosa, a Mad Max saga from 2024 films, and Fowler said the team inherited his great casting of the actress. Woke portrays a young Captain Walters, while Taccone plays Kyle Lansbottom, a GUN agent on Prison Island who watches over Shadow. Sophia Prentice and Christopher Nate Des respectively play Gabriella, and the twin brothers Juan and Pablo in La Última Pause a telenovela Ivo and Shadow watch. Filming second unit filming began in late July 2023 for animated characters only without physical actors as a result of the 2023 SAG-AFTRA strike in Farnham, Surrey, England. Principal photography was originally scheduled to begin on August 31, 2023, in London, England, but was delayed to September. Production with physical actors started on November 29, 2023, and was announced with the teaser image of Shadow the Hedgehog's stand-in statue used in filming. Brandon Trost returned from Sonic 2 as cinematographer, and Luke Freeborn was production designer. Schwartz began recording for the film by mid-February 2024. Marsden said that filming had been completed by March 14, while Fowler officially revealed that the film had wrapped production on March 29. The production of Jim Carrey's dual role required extensive technical work. Fowler said that asking Carrey to play the dual role of Ivo's grandfather Gerald was such a big ask, and meant Carrey had to spend 3 hours in a makeup chair being physically prepared to play Gerald each time. Carrey also helped design the prosthetics he wore. While Carrey performed each role, actor Brendan Murphy doubled for the other character. During each performance, Carrey informed Murphy how he would be doing the other, a system the former said was very technically difficult, especially considering that he was interacting with a pre-recorded voice track of the opposite character during his performances. Trost said that Murphy had to understand Carrey's performance inside and out in order to convincingly perform. Star Christopher Des said that he had not had the opportunity to meet Carrey, a childhood hero of Keanu Reeves, during production, as his portion of the film was shot separately from all the other actors. Trost credited his experience directing his film An American Pickle, in which Seth Rogen performed a dual role, with informing how he approached planning the shoots for Carrey's dual role. Due to the complexity of the makeup needed for his role as Gerald, shooting Carrey performing as both of his characters on the same day was not feasible. As such, Trost said that the production crew spent a significant amount of time ensuring that the shooting conditions were in the same state as they had been before when Carrey's second part of the scene was shot. The crew took detailed notes and panorama photographs documenting the set and the shooting setup in order to ensure consistency. The voice recording process for Shadow involved significant preparation and collaboration. Fowler said that Reeves would just give us so many different versions of line readings and just want to keep going during voice recording, and said he put more into his performance than just sort of showing up and reading the script into a microphone, both understanding their vision for the film and realizing his interpretation of Shadow. Reeves was prepared with questions to give himself insight about what the team was trying to achieve. Animation supervisor Clem Yip said Reeves's low-key, serious vocal performance informed their visual work, as opposed to acting with a placeholder tennis ball and scenes with Shadow. Brown shot scenes with a Shadow puppet, with his puppeteers ad-libbing certain lines into the film. Fowler explained that it really takes skill and imagination to create a believable performance with there not being really anything to act with and seen as something the other performers had to accomplish, and remarked that he was impressed with Brown's mastery of this at her young age. In creating the action sequences involving Shadow, Fowler paid homage to the 2005 Shadow the Hedgehog game by adapting several of its action scenes in the film. Fowler previously worked as an animator on the 2005 game, and felt honored to adapt the character for the screen. Post-production. The post-production process involved a complex animation pipeline across multiple studios. As a cost-cutting measure, the producers had an in-house animation team at Paramount work on both Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and the Knuckles series. Clem Yip served as animation supervisor, while Al Levine served as film editor. Animation was produced by 6 studios: Rising Sun Pictures, Rodeo FX, Industrial Light Magic, Finn, Marza Animation Planet, and the in-house team at Paramount. Fowler's team took a speedboat vendor strategy, dividing the animation work across these 6 studios. Fowler emphasized the need for visual continuity between the projects and cited communication as critical to this mandate. Trost said that much of filming was set up to accommodate lighting, framing, camera movements, and other processes completed during VFX production. He said that the filming crew accepted that their work constituted around 30% of the content in a final frame, and that the VFX crews trusted them to deliver a strong foundation to work on. A significant innovation in the production was the ownership of animation assets. According to Asher, the in-house team made an investment in the Sonic assets, built them themselves, then distributed them to the vendors, which he noted was comparatively different from previous installments where usually the vendor controls the assets that they rig. Owning the assets also allowed for their in-house team to work exclusively on Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles, and help the production keep costs down and move faster. Fowler said that the multi-studio process meant there were more parties you have to bring up to speed, so initially there's an extra level of work that has to be done. He said that once this was achieved, the flexibility allowed his team to tweak the finer aspects of the production and the performances. Music: Tom Holkenborg, who composed the score for the first two Sonic films, returned to score Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and had finished work by July 2024. The incorporation of iconic music from the game franchise became a central element of the film's identity. In December 2023, Johnny Gioli, the vocalist for the band Crush 40, said there had been talks of including Live Learn, the theme song from Sonic Adventure 2, in Sonic the Hedgehog 3. In February 2024, Gioli confirmed Live Learn would be included in the film. It is introduced in the opening scene of Sonic the Hedgehog 3 as a riff that Maria Robotnik plays on her guitar, from then on functioning as a leitmotif for Shadow. The vocal version, remixed by the film's composer, appears during Sonic and Shadow's duel and when they transform into Super Sonic and Super Shadow to stop the Eclipse cannon from destroying the Earth. Fowler explained his affinity for the awesome song made its use inevitable in the film, and joked that fans would have hunted him down if he failed to utilize it, which he did strongly. The singer Jelly Roll released a single for the film, Run It, on November 21, 2024. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 also features the song Neon from Japanese rock band One OK Rock, who previously contributed to the soundtrack for the 2022 game Sonic Frontiers. The soundtrack album was released by Milan Records on December 20, 2024. Released theatrical Sonic the Hedgehog 3 premiered at the Empire Leicester Square Inches London on December 10, 2024, and at the TCL Chinese Theatre in Los Angeles, California, on December 16. It was released in the United States by Paramount Pictures on December 20, taking over the original release date of Smurfs from 2025. It screened in 4DX and other premium formats, though for when an IMAX release. Paramount held a fan event on December 19 for early screenings at theaters in premium formats. The film's marketing campaign was extensive and creative. In April 2024 at CinemaCon, Paramount showcased first-look footages of the film, which featured a heavier Robotnik bemoaning his current state before Agent Stone informs him that they found him, and Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles fighting a silent Shadow. In July, a popcorn bucket and action figures produced by Jakks Pacific were leaked online. On August 25, the first official tease of Keanu Reeves' involvement as Shadow was posted to the film's TikTok account, which referenced the actor's mention in the first film, caption foreshadowing. Beginning at that time, images of the film's characters were projected on buildings and locations globally in promotion of the film's first trailer, which released on August 27 alongside a teaser poster. Several critics considered Reeves' role the most prominent feature in the trailer. Critical reactions to the first trailer focused on various elements. IGN observed that Keanu Reeves is very much in Keanu Reeves mode here, and Vulture likened the actor's moody and vengeful portrayal of Shadow to a John Wick performance. Ash Parrish of The Verge agreed that Reeves' voice was satisfactory, and also noted Maria's reveal, anticipating how the film would adapt her fate. The promotional efforts continued with unique merchandise and tie-ins. On the opening weekend of Paramount's Transformers 1, posters of Shadow were raffled to the first 300 attendees at select theaters, with Reeves signing a limited quantity of them. In commemoration of Halloween, a 10-second clip from the film of Shadow saying "boo" was posted on social media. On November 4, a promotional still image of Shadow was released by Fandango. On November 18, a new poster was released, featuring the main team, the Robotniks, and Shadow, who looms above the cast at the top and also rides his Dark Rider motorcycle at the bottom. Several press outlets were also sent the Sega Genesis cartridge containing promotional posters and voice lines from the characters, as well as a minigame through which the date for the film's second trailer could be unlocked by inputting a cheat code from the game Sonic the Hedgehog 3 from 1994. The trailer was released on November 25. Commentary focused on Shadow's use of a gun in one scene, considering the prominence of firearms in the 2005 Shadow the Hedgehog game and Sega's subsequent disownment, as well as Tails being mistaken for the Pocketel the copyright Moon character Pikachu. The phrases "he has a gun" and "he pissed on the moon" began trending on social media following the trailer's release, with the latter being a reference to the popular web series Snapcube's real-time fun-up. Merchandise and promotional partnerships expanded the film's presence. By October, the Jakks Pacific toy merchandise was released. The shoe company Reebok produced a tight-in line of sneakers in promotion for the film, and McDonald's sold Happy Meal toys of the film's characters. AMC Theaters produced a novelty popcorn bucket of Sonic's head and a collectible combo of a cup, drink topper, and a mask. On December 11, 2024, Paramount also released several posters parodying numerous Christmas films. The original ugly Sonic design from the first film that received backlash was featured as a sweater design that would be given away as a prize. A stop-motion short, A Very Sonic Christmas, was released on December 11, 2024, with Schwartz, Elba, O'Shaughnessy, and Reeves reprising their roles, and Wade Whipple actor Adam Pally voicing Santa Claus. A significant tie-in video game was released alongside the film's marketing campaign. A tie-in video game, Shadow Generations, was released in October 2024. The Sonic team head, Takashi Iizuka, said he wanted to spotlight Shadow as a character. Downloadable content based on the film was released on December 12, with an additional level set in Tokyo as it appears in the film. During the level, Shadow's appearance changes to resemble his movie counterpart, with Reeves reprising his voice. Reeves and Fowler gave an interview on CBS Mornings to promote the film. Home media. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 was released for digital download on January 21, 2025, and released on Ultra HD Blu-ray, and DVD on April 15. 4K Steelbook options include an edition with Sonic on the cover, and an Amazon retailer-exclusive version with Shadow on a red lightning bolt pattern background. Special features content include audio commentary with Fowler and Schwartz, a feature with Reeves and the cast discussing Shadow, a segment in the recording booth with Schwartz, Elba, and O'Shaughnessy, and the A Very Sonic Christmas special. The film began streaming on Paramount Plus in the United States and Canada on February 18, 2025. Upon the film's digital release in the UK, it debuted atop the official charts company's official film chart. Reception. Box office. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 grossed $236.1 million in the United States and Canada, and $256 million in other territories, for a worldwide total of $492.2 million. It became the 10th highest-grossing film of 2024. Deadline Hollywood calculated the film's net profit as $123.6 million, accounting for production budgets, marketing, and other costs against the film's box office grosses, merchandise, television and streaming, and home media revenues. The site ranked Sonic 3 10th on their list of 2024's most valuable blockbusters. The film's opening weekend performance exceeded expectations. In the United States and Canada, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 was released alongside Mufasa, The Lion King, and was projected to gross $60 million from 3,800 theaters. The film made $6.5 million from Thursday night previews, setting a record for the Sonic franchise. On Friday, the film grossed $25.7 million, a slight decrease from Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which made $26.3 million. The film went on to gross $60.1 million during the three-day opening weekend, topping the box office and achieving the second highest weekend debut for a PG film in December behind 2005's The Crow. The filmmakers took the criticism and went back to the drawing board, giving fans the Sonic design we all deserve. Ben Schwartz was the perfect choice to voice the Blue Blur, as he is a master of comedic timing and improvisation. Of course, The legendary Jim Carrey is also the perfect casting as Dr. Ivo Robotnik. In Sonic the Hedgehog 3, he takes on another role, Gerald Robotnik, Ivo's grandfather. There are many scenes where he is literally playing opposite himself. Of course, there was a stand-in for filming purposes and certain scenes, but there is no doubt that Carrey is a master of comedy when you watch this movie. There is a lot of physical comedy for both Gerald and Ivo. To say that I was laughing until my cheeks hurt is an understatement. Carrey is so good at involving his entire body in his art, and he will never, ever, shy away from something that makes the gag that much funnier. With him taking on two characters in Sonic 3, the comedy is brought to a whole new level. One thing that this franchise has consistently been brilliant at is bringing in a new character from the Sonic-verse in each new film. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 features Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and newcomer Shadow, incredibly voiced by Keanu Reeves. Shadow is a fan-favorite character, so it is important to get him right. Fans will be thrilled to know that they keep his origin story very spot on. There are a few tweaks here and there, which really is just to lean more on the family-friendly side of things. If you know, you know. There is a lot of emotion here. Without spoiling anything, he has a dark past. One of the major themes this movie draws attention to is the fact that we are a product of our upbringing and that one small change in our past could drastically affect our future. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 has several scenes that will not just tug at your heartstrings, they will have you tearing up. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is everything I wanted it to be. The action sequences are incredible and intense, leaving viewers clinging to the edge of their seats. There is not one joke that falls flat. Each and every one lands. This movie is laugh-out-loud funny. At the same time, there are quite a few emotional moments to unpack. Sonic goes through it in this movie, so much so that you are going to want to reach through the screen and give him a hug. There are themes of family, friendship, and even grief. To no one's surprise, there is a mid-credit and end-credit scene in Sonic the Hedgehog 3, both of which are extremely important to the rest of the franchise. If you are not on your knees begging Paramount to greenlight Sonic 4 after witnessing these, then I don't think you can even call yourself a fan. About Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Sonic the Hedgehog returns to the big screen this holiday season in his most thrilling adventure yet. Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails reunite against a powerful new adversary, Shadow, a mysterious villain with powers unlike anything they have faced before. With their abilities outmatched in every way, Team Sonic must seek out an unlikely alliance in hopes of stopping Shadow and protecting the planet. Director Jeff Fowler returns along with our all-star cast including Jim Carrey, Ben Schwartz, James Marsden, Tika Sumpter, Idris Elba, Colleen O'Shaughnessy, Natasha Rothwell, Shimmer Moore, Adam Pally, Lee Majdoub, newcomers Lila Brown and Krysten Ritter, with Keanu Reeves joining this franchise as Shadow the Hedgehog. Who could have imagined that after the first ever teaser trailer for the Sonic movie back in 2019, which showcased the bizarrely designed hedgehog with human-like teeth and sparked massive online backlash, we would now be celebrating the release of the third film in the saga. The fan outcry led to a complete redesign of Sonic's character, costing the studio millions and seemingly dooming the franchise before it even began. But sometimes, when executives listen to the fans, great things can happen, and Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is a shining example of that. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 builds on the success of its predecessor with the sharper focus on the beloved video game characters and a standout performance from Keanu Reeves as the voice of Shadow. Shadow's compelling backstory adds a new layer of action and drama, giving the film an emotional depth that's been missing from the series until now. Reeves's portrayal of the fan-favorite anti-hero is captivating, perfectly capturing Shadow's intense and conflicted nature. One of the film's strongest moves is reducing the screen time of the human characters, allowing Sonic, voiced by Ben Schwartz, Tails, Colleen O'Shaughnessy, and Knuckles, voiced by Idris Elba, to take center stage. Jim Carrey's return as Dr. Ivo Robotnik is as entertaining as ever, with the added twist of him taking on two roles this time. Carrey's signature energy, dancing skills and comedic timing continue to be a driving force for the series, and the shift toward focusing on the video game characters makes the film feel more authentic to its source material. The humor is well balanced, offering enough laughs for kids while also including moments that adults will appreciate. The action sequences are fast and engaging, with a grand finale that features intense, anime-inspired battles reminiscent of Dragon Ball Z. The fast-paced, high-energy action keeps the film moving at a thrilling speed, ensuring viewers stay hooked from start to finish. The superhero-style storytelling makes it feel like more than just a kids' movie. It's a full-fledged action-adventure. Fans should definitely stick around for the 2 post-credits scenes, which hint at major developments for the future of the Sonic cinematic universe. Without giving too much away, these moments are sure to spark plenty of discussion and excitement. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is a significant step forward for the franchise, with better storytelling, a focus on fan-favorite characters, and a strong cast of voice actors. It's a thrilling ride from start to finish. When it comes to video game movies, there are a lot of factors that you have to consider, including balancing storytelling and reaching a wider audience, in this case, a young audience with pleasing the fans. It's with this in mind that I decided to bring in 2 guest critics to help me review Sonic the Hedgehog 3. I've enlisted the aid of my nephews, professional children Timmy Gibbs, age 8, and Peter Gibbs, age 5, both hardcore franchise fans, to help me evaluate the films. The story begins with Shadow, voiced by Keanu Reeves, The Matrix, John Wick, a powerful and mysterious super hedgehog, escaping from a top-secret military facility after being held in stasis for 50 years, and he's got big plans in store. Meanwhile, Sonic, Ben Schwartz, Parks and Recreation, The After Party, and his adopted family, led by Tom, James Marsden, X-Men, and Maddie, Tika Sumpter, ride along, are celebrating Sonic's birthday at the anniversary of the day he arrived on Earth. When they are interrupted by agents of GUN, Guardian Units of Nations, the military organization who has monitored Sonic and his pals, Tails the Fox, Colleen O'Shaughnessy, Ladybug and Cat Noir, the movie, and Knuckles the Echidna, Idris Elba, Pacific Rim, the Suicide Squad, to track down Shadow, who is wreaking havoc and bent on mass destruction. The trio finds the mysterious hedgehog in Tokyo, where he easily bests them, and after seemingly being double-crossed by GUN, the hairy heroes learn that their old nemesis, Dr. Ivo Robotnik, Jim Carrey, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, The Truman Show, is still alive, and they form a reluctant alliance to take down Shadow. Another big surprise is thrown at them when Robotnik learns that his long-lost grandfather, Gerald Robotnik, also portrayed by Carrey, is still alive and has a past with Shadow, joining them in the hunt. The ragtag band of misfits, along with Tom and Maddie, must stop Shadow from using a super weapon to destroy the world and get to the bottom of the tragic backstory that has driven him to this desperate act of vengeance. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 gets off to a strong start by focusing far less on the bland human characters and putting Sonic, Tails and Knuckles front and center, a move that should please nearly everyone. I defer here to my co-critic Timmy, an avid gaming enthusiast. There was one specific game that came to mind when I was watching this movie, Timmy says. Sonic Adventure 2, the 2001 game, brought Sonic, Tails and Knuckles, together with Robotnik, and introduced the character of Shadow, and Timmy saw this as a big screen version of that game. Sonic fans will like this movie, especially the people who played the Sonic Adventure games growing up, Timmy says. Peter was quite pleased with the comedic aspects, finding Carrey's antics to be very funny. One particular moment stands out, when the two Robotniks do a mirroring routine and Ivo remarks that they are so much alike that it's almost as if they are characters in a movie, both played by the same actor. Peter enjoys both slapstick and meta humor. They both found it to be quite exciting and suspenseful, even a bit scary at times, and cautioned against bringing younger, less sophisticated children than themselves to the theater. We all agreed that Schwartz, Elba and O'Shaughnessy are the best parts of the film, with their spot-on characterizations making them a triumphant heroic trio. We were more split on Carrey and Reeves. I was delighted by the depth that Reeves brought to Shadow, though I did wish he'd been given a few lighter moments, while they felt that they needed a second viewing to warm up to the character. A little bit of Carrey Unchained goes a long way for me, and some of his riffing sequences went on interminably, while others had just enough manic energy to be amusing. I couldn't help but imagine what might have been achieved with more direction, and with Dick Van Dyke in the role of Gerald, teaming two comic legends and focusing more on character over craziness. Still, while I often tend to side with Tommy Lee Jones' take on Carrey at his most unbridled, Jones famously pulled Carrey aside on the set of Batman Forever to say, "I cannot sanction your buffoonery." Kids undeniably respond to the beloved entertainer's outrageous antics. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is a very solid entry in the series that will indeed please fans, as stated by the experts, and may be a stronger choice than Mufasa, The Lion King, if you're looking to have some rambunctious fun with the kids this weekend. It's a movie that knows not to even try to reach further than its grasp and is comfortable with what it is, while still working to give us more action, fun and focusing on the characters that the devotees are there to see. Simply put, this is a movie that knows that it's got to go fast. Patrick Gibbs, with assistance from Timmy Gibbs, Peter Gibbs, Super Swift Hedgehog Sonic, Ben Schwartz, takes on new nemesis, the malevolent Shadow the Hedgehog, Keanu Reeves, an evil brainiac Gerald Robotnik, Jim Carrey. After the Paramount logo, the star is replaced by gold rings flying towards the iconic mountain, and the Sega tent. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 rather ironically segues to a large credit for Neil Maritz's production company, a original film. It's not very often a production banner throws unintentional shade on the film that follows, but there is very little that is novel in Sonic 3's subsequent 109 minutes. Director Jeff Fowler's inoffensive, all too familiar third adventure for the Blue Blur is probably the pick of the bunch, but this is still the kind of low-hanging fruit, endless quipping, bland moralizing, dance routines meted out by every bog-standard animated kids flick since the turn of the century. The big new element here is the introduction of vengeful villain Shadow the Hedgehog, voiced by Keanu Reeves, unsurprisingly channeling John Wick rather than Ted Logan. Teased in a sting at the end of Sonic 2, Shadow is a black-hearted agent of chaos. Think Nigel Farage with quills, who escapes incarceration after 50 years to wreak havoc on Protectors of Earth Guardian Units of Nations, alongside scientist Gerald Robotnik, Jim Carrey, soon Sonic, Ben Schwartz, and his lads, Tails the Fox, Kyle O'Shaughnessy, and Knuckles the Echidna, Idris Elba, are dispatched to manage the mayhem, only to discover they need to team up with Ivo Robotnik, also Carrey, the grandson of Gerald in the series' big bad, presumed dead after the second film, to save the day. On the plus side, Sonic 3 has more narrative focus and urgency than Sonic 2. The word that comes to mind when describing this Sega saga is scattershot. From the comedy a fart gag here, a BR third joke there, to the needle drop sad the traveling Wilburys, the Prodigy, the Beach Boys, together at last. To the action a bike chase in Tokyo, shenanigans over London landmarks. Everything has a let's hope this sticks quality. This haphazard approach extends to the thematic material you can choose from. Listen to your heart, B, trust your friends, C, don't let pain change you, or D, always make the right choice. But none of them are persuasively argued or deeply felt. Key emotional bonds etched are in throwaway montages. Even on its own terms, little feels earned or authentic. On the plus side, Sonic 3 has more narrative focus and urgency than Sonic 2, and there are some genuinely funny moments, a parody of telenovelas, a killer Green Lantern gag, and the punch-wide pomposity of Elba's warrior anteater get some laughs. The MVP of the first two films, Carrey dials down this physical comedy in both his roles, amping up punning, dorkupine, to hit-and-miss effect. For all the actors gurning and the film's visual busyness, few images pop or lodge in the memory. Perhaps what's needed is an authored vision. The campaign for BA copyright law Tara's A Sonic the Hedgehog 4 starts here. Slightly better than its predecessors, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 works hard to entertain. It has the odd bright moment, but overall lacks surprise, freshness or anything to set the heart racing. It's a Saturday morning cartoon writ long. Have you ever wondered how the government knew it was Sonic who caused the power outage that set the first Sonic the Hedgehog film in motion? Or why they hired the dastardly Directorial Robotnik to find him? It's almost like they knew there were anthropomorphic alien hedgehogs on Earth. That's because before there was Sonic, there was Shadow. Unlike Sonic, Shadow didn't come to Earth through a magic golden ring. He never got to watch humans consuming donuts and playing baseball from the safety of cave in Green Hills, Montana, and he certainly never got the chance to discover what a loving family looked like. No, Shadow landed in a meteor crash and was swept up by government forces shortly thereafter. He watched humans from behind a glass tube as they experimented on him and exploited his powers. And while he did find a friend in Maria, the granddaughter of the lead scientist on the project, she was killed in an explosion, and Shadow bore the blame. Well, Shadow has been held in stasis for the last 50 years in a top-secret facility. He's been stewing in his anger the entire time, hoping for the opportunity to enact his revenge. So when a familiar face sets him free with a plan to do just that, Shadow doesn't hesitate. He unleashes chaos on the world. It'll take the combined forces of Team Sonic to stop Shadow. But if Sonic doesn't watch himself, listen to his friends and finally learn how to work on a team, he may just go down the same dark path that Shadow once did. Positive elements: Sonic and his friends, Knuckles and Tails, are still learning how to work as a team. Sonic can be impulsive, Knuckles just wants to break things, and it's all Tails can do to keep the other two in line. But the teammates, and best friends, never give up. Even when one of them loses his way for a while, the other two support him and get him back on the right path, reminding him of what is right. Each anthropomorphic creature is willing to put his own life on the line to save his friends and the world. And after a bit of trial and error, the teammates realize they're a lot stronger when they put their powers together than when they go it alone. Sonic learns that being a team leader isn't about having the team named after him or even being in charge. Rather, it's about encouraging his friends to do their best, rallying the team to work together and trusting his teammates to make the right choices. Spoiler warning: after seeing the friendships between Sonic and the others, Shadow begins to question whether the best way to honor Maria's memory is to completely annihilate the world. Sonic shares with Shadow how he lost his mentor, Longclaw, after she sacrificed herself to save him. He tells Shadow the pain never goes away, but the love they shared was stronger than that pain. He adds, and it still remains, even though she is gone. Shadow eventually realizes the same is true of Maria, and he takes Sonic's advice, imparted on Sonic by his foster father, Tom, to not let his anger consume him and change who he is. Two bad guys, realizing the error of their ways, make amends by sacrificing themselves to save the world. Many characters apologize for mistakes they've made. We're told that it's never too late to do the right thing. Spiritual elements: Sonic, Knuckles, Tails and Shadow are all aliens from other planets, and each has his own unique set of skills. Sonic is super fast and creates electricity when he runs. Knuckles has super strength. Tails can fly by spinning his tail. And Shadow can teleport and create chaos energy. Sonic activates the Master Emerald, a mystical object that turns thought into reality and makes the user godlike. However, after a fight with the much stronger Shadow, the emerald splits, allowing Shadow to activate a few of the shards for himself. Knuckles becomes frightened while watching Casper with his friends, stating that there's no such thing as a friendly ghost. Someone says, "Go with God." Sexual romantic content: Directorial Robotnik says that he is unappealing to all possible genders. Someone rips a man's shirt off, exposing the guy's chest, telling him to use the material to fix a suit. After learning about a long-lost family member, Ivo asks, "Who did what with whom?" A telenovela features a woman in a cleavage-bearing dress who has fallen in love with twin brothers. A man briefly ogles another woman in front of his wife. Violent content were shown how Shadow was targeted by the government after authorities determined that his chaos energy was too dangerous to be left unchecked. They sent soldiers into the facility where he was being held to arrest him. Instead, the lead scientist on the project, Dr. Gerald Robotnik, Ivo's and Maria's grandfather, tried to help Shadow escape. The soldiers fired their weapons, causing an explosion that killed Maria, whom we see lying lifelessly on the ground. Those events fuel Shadow's and Gerald's anger and vengeance. So, they plot to destroy the world with a giant cannon powered by Shadow's chaos energy. Sonic and his friends battle Shadow throughout Sonic the Hedgehog 3, usually causing quite a bit of destruction in the process. It should be noted that they try to reason with Shadow more than once. Gerald uses drones to fire missiles at Sonic's team while they're dining in a children's restaurant. People fire weapons in other scenes, too. Two characters use robotic appendages to fight each other. When one falls off a bridge, the other stomps on his fingers to make him fall. However, he's rescued by Tails, and he knocks his opponent into a stream of chaos energy, which incinerates the man. Simulations show how force fields and lasers could kill Sonic. Ivo shoves his grandfather into such lasers, but the man is spared a gruesome death by his laser-deflecting suit. Although Ivo admits he wasn't sure if the suits would work or not, Sonic and Shadow fight off several missile-firing drones. There are many perilous moments throughout the film. Among them, Team Sonic is nearly sucked into a black hole. While stopping Gerald's space cannon, two characters pass out and begin falling to Earth, but they're narrowly saved by a friend. Sonic's friends are nearly crushed by falling rubble, which he saves them from. Shadow attacks Tom, Sonic's foster father, mistaking him for the man who locked him up after Maria's death. He shows some remorse when he realizes his mistake, but he doesn't apologize. Tom survives, but it's a very near thing. Two characters seemingly perish while moving Gerald's cannon away from the Earth as the weapon explodes. Sonic is shocked to learn that Ivo Robotnik is still alive, since the events of Sonic the Hedgehog 2 had led him to believe the evil scientist had perished. Characters are otherwise punched, elbowed and tackled. A man crashes his bike. Shadow says a television character should kill two men fighting over her since she's not a prize to be won. Gerald imagines blowing up a government building using his cannon. The cannon actually hits the moon, slicing off a good third of the satellite. A post-credits scene shows Sonic fending off robotic hedgehogs shooting at him. We hear 1 to 2 uses each of a comma batard, the N and ha dot. God's name is misused 3 times, and someone also says, "Holy crap." Insults and mean names are hurled throughout the film, including Robot Stink and Dorkupine. Other note for the elements: several bad guys double-cross the people they are working with. One man is unable to let go of his anger and his plot for revenge yet to his own peril. Ivo Robotnik is deeply hurt when the only family he has ever known rejects him. We learned that 2 bad guys were blamed for an explosion that took human lives. However, it's later revealed they weren't directly responsible, and that they were simply trying to escape wrongful imprisonment. We hear several flatulent sounds in a row as a man adds condiments to his food. A guy laments that his weight gain has caused him to develop man boobs. He then slaps his exposed belly like bongo drums. A woman acts belligerently, threatening to get to man fired so he'll give her what she wants. There's a reference to Mr. and Mrs. Smith, though it's unclear if they mean the PG-13 rated film or the TVMA rated TV series. Sonic causes a couple of blackouts. Conclusion: if your child likes fast-paced action adventures about spiky blue hedgehogs based on video games, then you probably went and saw the previous 2 Sonic films already and more or less know what to expect here. There are some good messages here about the power of love over hate. Sonic repeatedly tells the Robotniks and Shadow that it's never too late to do the right thing, and when his own anger threatens to take over, he sagely states, "There are no winners with revenge." Sonic's actions demonstrate how the love we have for our family and friends is stronger than the hatred we feel for our enemies, and a few characters embrace this truth, even sacrificing themselves to save millions of others. But there's some flashy violence that might upset younger or sensitive viewers. A few characters perish on screen, and even though Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is rated PG, there were more profanities than I would have thought appropriate. Some families may be okay with those elements, but I still think Sonic the Hedgehog 3 deserves a little note of caution before your family potentially chooses to see it. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is packed with Easter eggs, action, heart, and laugh-out-loud jokes. Shadow fans will be thrilled with the story he is given. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is the best yet, which is shocking to say because the first two movies are fantastic. Just when you think they cannot get any better, they do. Somehow the filmmakers have figured out the perfect combination of ingredients. There are plenty of Easter eggs and references for longtime Sonic fans. The humor hits for kids and adults alike. There are a few jokes for older audiences that will fly over younger ones' heads. The action sequences are thrilling, the pacing is on point, never lull with Sonic, and the visuals, in particular Sonic and his friends, look incredible. There are constant messages about love, friendship, and teamwork. Lessons to be learned include listening to your heart, doing the right thing, even when no one is looking, and supporting those around you. Sonic, Tom, Maddie, Knuckles, and Tails are a chosen family, and seeing it warms the heart. Think all the way back to the very first Sonic the Hedgehog trailer. There is no way you thought we would be here, not only with a third movie coming out but with them being some of the genuinely best family movies ever made. The filmmakers took the criticism and went back to the drawing board, giving fans the Sonic design we all deserve. Ben Schwartz was the perfect choice to voice the Blue Blur, as he is a master of comedic timing and improvisation. Of course, the legendary Jim Carrey is also the perfect casting as Dr. Ivo Robotnik. In Sonic the Hedgehog 3, he takes on another role, Gerald Robotnik, Ivo's grandfather. There are many scenes where he is literally playing opposite himself. Of course, there was a stand-in for filming purposes and certain scenes, but there is no doubt that Carrey is a master of comedy when you watch this movie. There is a lot of physical comedy for both Gerald and Ivo. To say that I was laughing until my cheeks hurt is an understatement. Carrey is so good at involving his entire body in his art, and he will never, ever, shy away from something that makes the gag that much funnier. With him taking on two characters in Sonic 3, the comedy is brought to a whole new level. One thing that this franchise has consistently been brilliant at is bringing in a new character from the Sonic-verse in each new film. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 features Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and newcomer Shadow, incredibly voiced by Keanu Reeves. Shadow is a fan-favorite character, so it is important to get him right. Fans will be thrilled to know that they keep his origin story very spot on. There are a few tweaks here and there, which really is just to lean more on the family-friendly side of things. If you know, you know. There is a lot of emotion here. Without spoiling anything, he has a dark past. One of the major themes this movie draws attention to is the fact that we are a product of our upbringing and that one small change in our past could drastically affect our future. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 has several scenes that will not just tug at your heartstrings, they will have you tearing up. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is everything I wanted it to be. The action sequences are incredible and intense, leaving viewers clinging to the edge of their seats. There is not one joke that falls flat. Each and every one lands. This movie is laugh-out-loud funny. At the same time, there are quite a few emotional moments to unpack. Sonic goes through it in this movie, so much so that you are going to want to reach through the screen and give him a hug. There are themes of family, friendship, and even grief. To no one's surprise, there is a mid-credit and end-credit scene in Sonic the Hedgehog 3, both of which are extremely important to the rest of the franchise. If you are not on your knees begging Paramount to greenlight Sonic 4 after witnessing these, then I don't think you can even call yourself a fan. About Sonic the Hedgehog 3, Sonic the Hedgehog returns to the big screen this holiday season in his most thrilling adventure yet. Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails reunite against a powerful new adversary, Shadow, a mysterious villain with powers unlike anything they have faced before. With their abilities outmatched in every way, Team Sonic must seek out an unlikely alliance in hopes of stopping Shadow and protecting the planet. Director Jeff Fowler returns along with our all-star cast including Jim Carrey, Ben Schwartz, James Marsden, Tika Sumpter, Idris Elba, Colleen O'Shaughnessy, Natasha Rothwell, Shimmer Moore, Adam Pally, Lee Majdoub, newcomers Lila Brown and Krysten Ritter, with Keanu Reeves joining this franchise as Shadow the Hedgehog. 20+ years ago, I was sitting at my GameCube rolling around at the speed of sound as Sonic in Sonic Adventure 2, not knowing just how enamored I would become with this game. Fast forward to now, and I'm in awe that I finally got to see Shadow the Hedgehog, Keanu Reeves, take up the screen alongside Sonic, Ben Schwartz, in the most satisfying movie possible. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 has hit theaters and is a crowd pleaser that is easily the best of the three. Warning: this review contains some spoilers for Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 finally shifts the focus away from the human characters. I recall my frustration in the second film about how much time was spent with Tom, James Marsden, his wife Maddie, Tika Sumpter, and his in-laws Rachel, Natasha Rothwell, and Randall Shimmermore. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 flipped it around and gave a lot more screen time to Sonic, Tails, Colleen O'Shaughnessy, and Knuckles, Idris Elba. Even Shadow got decent minutes with his backstory and motivations for worldwide destruction. There was a great balance with the introduction of a new human character, Gerald Robotnik, Jim Carrey, grandfather to the villain of the first two movies, Ivo Robotnik, also Jim Carrey. With more time spent on Team Sonic, it was a pleasant ride following their adventure across the globe rather than the back-and-forth subplot cuts that hampered the second movie. Shadow's history with Maria, Elila Brown, another grandchild of Gerald Robotnik, was very well balanced in establishing their shared memories before the tragic accident that set up Shadow.